The next thing I'd like to do is build a moss bone meal farm. It's going to take a lot of items to build, but it's going to help my other bone meal farm keep up with my tree farm. And there is all the items I need. Time to start building. I'm going to fill in this area here, and this is where I'll begin building. We're going to start with a 5x9 platform of stone. Then we need 5 furnaces here, and a bunch of pistons on this side. And I don't know what's going on there. I haven't minded it. There we go. Then we need water here, and get the lava. And what do we do with the lava? We put it on top, and what you get? You get a nice little stone generator. Alright, well, why do we need a stone generator? You'll soon find out. But we've also got these blocks along here. We're going to need to mine quite a bit of grass. Well, not quite a bit, but a little bit of grass along here. Then we'll put a block here and a block here. We're probably going to have to do a bit more mining of the grass in a bit. In hindsight, I probably should have built this 1 block higher. But it's too late now. We're just going to have to live with it. I've created here a fancy bit of redstone that allows me to turn this machine off or on like that. As you can see, it's on right now, and that's going around and around. And now it is switched off again. We're also going to add a bunch of redstone all the way along here. And redstone here with a block next to that, which is going to be 5 long in total. Now let's add some stone blocks along here with open trap doors. Then we need glass that goes all the way around. And this will get filled with water. Then I'll simply box this in and place redstone on top. I've done even more redstone just here. I didn't want to bore you with the details. But next we're going to get the good old moss block. We're going to put a couple of temporary blocks and then a dispenser facing into it, which is going to be pumping bone meal. So to do that, we're going to need 3 hoppers, then a redstone dust on top, and a couple of, not like that, but we're going to need a couple of pieces of glass and a bunch of other stuff to make it work. And to get any further, we must now dig a hole, and then 6 droppers are needed, although for some reason I've only got 5, so I'm going to have to go and get another one. And when you've got a teleporter, it really doesn't matter having to go all the way home. On the contrary, travelling is extremely fast. Now that that's added, let's get back to work, which means placing hoppers. And here we've got composters on top of hoppers, so some of the bone meal is going to go into this chest, and some of it's going to go back into the farm to grow even more moss to get even more bone meal. With all these hoppers in place, a bit of water here will make the items flow over all the hoppers. A little bit more redstone here, and this is kind of satisfying because as you can see, it's kind of going inside all of the glass. And the very final thing to do is get rid of this hole, and then a line of redstone kind of underground here that's going to go all the way around to this comparator. There we go. Let's cover it all up. To get the farm going for the first time, we're going to need some bone meal just in this dispenser. It'll replenish itself in the future though. I flick this lever and everything should be working. And basically, as you can see, it's turning the stone into moss blocks, and then it keeps creating more stone here with this generator. Look at that. Bone meal already coming in. Bone meal going back round as well. You know what? I'm tired of never having access to every dye that I want. We're going to make a dye farm. They're very simple to make, but also very helpful indeed. Although before I do that, it's probably a good idea to start filling up these with wool. And also fill up all of the item frames. Here I've got all the items that I need. And whilst on my way there, I've just come to realise how much of a ridiculous amount of iron I have. I'm just emptying these chests and replacing them with blocks. The main reason I want to build it at spawn is because it uses bone meal, and I've got 2 bone meal farms here, so it's pretty handy. Although to make space for it, we're going to have to do more deforestation. Although I've just had a thought, I can only get 2 types of flowers in this biome, so it really doesn't make sense to build this at spawn. Instead, I must go to the nearest plains biome. This seems like a pretty good place to me. Now to start building, which is begun by an outline of these blocks. Next, I dig a bit of a hole right here and place pistons all the way along here. I'm also going to do the exact same thing on this side and remove a row of dirt. And to make the pistons move, it's some extremely simple redstone involving a note block and an observer. Right here is the place for my dispenser, which is going to have bone meal. I've placed 2 observers so that they're going to detect when the dispenser needs to activate. Now I'm going to add a load of hoppers, which is going to be how I hook up a load of bone meal to it. Then I just add a gate and a load of fences. And the farm is now done. To begin it, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And you can see it's working. It's getting loads and loads of flowers. It's also very noisy, so I'm going to go and stand over here. But when I'm ready, I just go and pick up all the items. There's no like fancy collection system. It's just a really simple, quick farm. I think I literally ran out of bone meal already, which is kind of insane. Let's go and collect all this up. Look at that, completely empty. I should definitely go and get a load more bone meal. But in a super fast time, as you can see, I got loads and loads of different flowers. A very simple, easy build that's also very effective. I've got every single item that I need, although I suppose I'd better bring plenty of bones as well. And we're going to start with the light blue dye farm, which thankfully is going to be really straightforward because the only flowers that can spawn in a swamp are orchids. Orchids are the only flower that gives light blue dye, so we're not going to be getting loads of dyes that we're not bothered about. We are only going to be getting light blue dye when I build this in a swamp. And I want to be smart enough about this where I build it in a swamp, but I also can have another flower farm running at the same time that will be in a plains biome because we're going to need cornflowers for the dark blue dye. And I don't know if you knew this, but there's something called flower gradients in Minecraft. See how this block has a dandelion? If I was to bone meal this block 100 times, every single time a flower spawned, it would be a dandelion. Same with where these poppies are. And so I would need to find an area that has lots of cornflowers, and you know what? this is it. This is the area, okay? If I was to bone meal this, I would be getting a lot of cornflowers from this area. So I reckon that's the perfect plan. I will build one in the swamp. It doesn't really matter where in the swamp, like I say. And I'll be near enough to load in the other one so that both the two flower farms can be running simultaneously. Now I just need to clear a good space, which can be achieved by mining lots and lots of oak trees. I'm also just going to run a little test on the area, make sure the orchids are spawning. Okay, but before I do that, let's go ahead and fill in a lot of the water gaps. I never realized that swamps are two different shades of green, depending on the area, which, yeah, I never knew. I think the colour's based on the temperature, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for the spawning of the flowers. There seems to be, yeah, plenty of orchids spawning in, and the rates of them spawning don't seem to be any much more in this section. So I'm just doing all the tests here, guys. There's not really much information out there for the technical side of flower farms, so that's why I'm testing it out. I also thought at first it was a bit overkill to bring an entire shulker box of grass blocks, but now that I'm filling in all this water, I've realised it was actually a great idea. I think that should be enough of the area filled in. Just quickly tidy up this land over here as well, make it a little bit better. Also, apparently we have floating vines. Yep, bet you didn't know that this was possible, because it shouldn't be. Apparently there's been a squid casualty as well. My goodness, it's all happening here. To begin with, we're going to have some blocks along here with redstone on top, and also a bit of a system here which is going to have all of the bone meal. Next, we're going to need target blocks, pistons, and grass. And then we're going to kind of mirror this redstone on this side, but it's all going to be one block higher. And there also needs to be pistons facing upwards next to the target blocks. Once you see this farm in action, you're going to think it's pretty cool. It's kind of like an entire conveyor belt. It moves all the flowers along, it collects the items himself. It's very, very efficient. We're going to fill in this entire floor with black stained glass. One of the reasons that glass works well, A, we can see through it, and B, I can still open this chest. And on top of it, I can place down lots of grass blocks. As you can see, I've also left gaps in the grass, and what will happen here is these gates will push items along, because I can run over them, but when they move, it will push an item, and some items will fall in these holes, and they will still get pushed along. In fact, all the items need to fall in the holes, and they will, yeah, get pushed along to the end. What happens when they reach the end? Well, they will be in a water chute right here. And before I forget, I will fill that in with water. Now, I don't really know the easiest way to get in and out of here, actually. Maybe if I just go and grab my second bucket of water, and then it's going to take some good flying in. There we go, without killing myself. That would be nice. We'll add both of these. That stops right there, and here is where I can build a collection system. And now to start adding more pistons, and also a load more redstone stuff. The lever on the back of this piston will be the on-off switch, although, yeah, well, you can see how it's working. It's a bit more redstone to be done. I shouldn't turn it on just yet, since I first need to add more glass, grass, and redstone. All this grass up here is going to be part of the conveyor belt, and it's going to be spawn-proofed with black glass and also sea lanterns around the outside. Well, I say around the outside, they're actually just the corner pieces of this machine. And I could put black stained glass across the top of here as well, but I didn't actually bring enough for that, and I, for some reason, put my normal glass back, which is what I was going to use there. So that means a pretty quick trip back home to grab a stack of glass, which will be placed right here. And now I just need to add a few blocks along here with redstone on top. And that should be it. The farm should be 100% complete. Let's test it out by flicking this lever. Okay, look at that. The conveyor belt is moving swimmingly, as you can see. So this will be getting loads of flowers. Yeah, it's also very, very noisy. If I also go ahead and add some bone meal, that will make it so that we actually get some flowers. There you go, you can see orchids are spawning. There's absolutely loads of them. Okay, we might run out of bone meal pretty quick. But as you can see, when the gates come along, the gates actually collect it and pick it up, and it all comes flying down here. So from 57 bone meal, let's have a look, see how much we've got. We can't have much bone meal left. Yeah, we've run out of bone meal now. Everything has been collected, and we have got ourselves, look at that, over 2 stacks already. This is fantastic. And now I'm going to once again nip home to grab a few extra redstone items, since this machine is going to need a very nice little storage system. And I'm also trying to put more effort into actually making storages instead of just placing a chest and it being awful. I usually end up making a nice storage for stuff in the end anyway, so I might as well just do it straight away. Already did this for the guardian farm, a similar kind of thing. There's just going to be comparators and hoppers. I'm confident that 4 will be enough to deal with the amount of orchids. Let's add the repeaters underneath with a little bit of glass, because I like to be able to see what's going on sometimes. Also apparently ran out of redstone, but don't worry, I have plenty of redstone blocks. Why does it always have to rain? At least we've got a little bit of shelter under here. Next, I've got my chests right here. Hoppers going into them. I have like a pixel to aim for it. It helps if I actually zoom in. And then torches underneath the hoppers. I'll name these to get my item filters, which will all be going in here. If I do something like this, it'll actually take more orchids, if that makes sense. Like I'll be able to No, wait, less orchids for it to filter through. I know what I'm trying to say. And the orchids the farm gave me before, I did send back home, so we're just going to have to collect some up from this swamp. This will be the last time I'm ever farming these flowers by hand. And then a singular orchid can go into every single hopper. Glass can go around the outside. I'm going to go to sleep because I'm sick of this rain. I'm also going to need a bit of this wood to craft some composters, which you don't craft composters like that. Everybody knows that, SB. Come on, basics. I'll get it right in the end. And so there'll be 3 composters here with 3 hoppers, and this will just be for any excess flowers, but hopefully not for any orchids, but it will be for seeds. I'm actually going to move this chest to be on the other side. It's just going to make life easier because then I can have droppers going up into it if I can actually place one like that. Hoppers going into the droppers. My goodness, this is getting very, very organised, isn't it? I've never been so organised in my life. I'm going to have a couple of observers like that, which is going to be doing this. This is going to be a noisy farm as it is with all the pistons, so I suppose a little bit of extra noise doesn't really matter. I think something like this... Okay, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I think if I go and put a torch here... There we go. That shuts all of that up. And then if we go and put... Let's just... You know what? I need to get some actual bone meal. Not like I'm short on bones or anything, so if I go ahead... and turn all that into bone meal, put it into this hopper. Okay, this is kind of working. It is filling up, but then that's going to go in, I guess, to the entire system. Made a few adjustments to the redstone. I'm pretty sure now it should work pretty well. Okay, I think I'm just going to add a little bit more delay. Oh, that works. Because I know that 1 tick it was a problem, but now on 2 ticks, it's staying like this, as you can see. If I go and take that out, it'll stop, and then I can go ahead, put it all back in. And yeah, it stays. The piston's not moving in and out loads. So storage is almost complete. We're just going to need some water to go at the edge of here. Now I've just got to once again work out how I'm going to add the water. I'm going to try and fly in. There we go. That'll work. I'd also better add something here. Otherwise the water will go and break all my redstone, which I most definitely don't want to do after spending so long on it. So if we go like that. Look at that. Stops at the end. Okay, now I'm stuck. I have to break this bit of glass. They both need replacing. That is going to go like that to stop everything. You know what, actually, let's forget that. Let's go and change. Okay, this could be a mistake here, so I've just got to make sure I don't do anything too stupid. But I'm thinking just at the end here, why don't we put a couple of hoppers, okay? And then if there's any extra items, they will still manage to get composted as well. You know what? Just to push the boat out, why don't I instead just have 5 composters? Are they all going to get used? Probably not, but you know what? That doesn't matter. I actually remove one of the composters because otherwise I'd have no way to get to this chest to fill it with bone meal. Speaking of filling with bone meal, I think there's no time like the present to start doing... In fact, can we just start the machine as well? Yeah, it's going to be working. It's already got bone meal in it. Let's just see if this collection system actually is all that it's cracked up to be. So the items flow along. Yeah, look at that. The orchids are all getting picked up, and it's just the seeds that are going to be composted. Okay, where are you? What on earth? I haven't seen hostile mobs in ages. I need to turn that mob switch back on. A few things have gone wrong with my system, unfortunately. As you can see, this one, for some reason, there's nothing in it. And then this one, well, it's that one's okay, but this one's letting seeds through somehow. And that's all because I took somebody's advice in the comments where they said I could put more of the filters in and it would make it work better because you get more items. You can't though, because if you pick up a load of orchids, it'll give too much power to one of these comparators and it'll power other hoppers and mess it all up. So, you know what, I was always right all along, which I guess I knew. Hope you guys haven't got any more bright ideas. I'm just kidding. I love to hear your guys' ideas in the comments. Most of them are very helpful. First things first, I think this is the kind of farm I want to build underground. And doing it at the edge of this bamboo farm seems like a good idea. It's also annoying that I don't get the haste effect whilst over here. So I'm going to grab a load more iron. And with that, I'll make a new beacon. There we go. And before I forget, I'm also going to grab a load of slime. And then I can turn all these into sticky pistons. Now I can mine much faster and get building this. Right here is where I'm going to have the chests. Let's add some hoppers running into them. Then I'm going to put some stairs over these chests, and I'll fill in the rest of this when I have the blocks. This is going to be an extremely long chamber, 64 blocks to be exact. That's the tunnel dug out. This is actually part of my house, so I've got to be a little bit careful here. Now I'm going to add in all the observers, the pistons, the mycelium, and bring this farm together. And the mushroom farm is now done. There's mushrooms all the way along here, and also underneath this block all the way along there. And then anytime one of these mushrooms spread, it will activate the observer, which will activate the piston for a split second and just move this block to break the mushroom, and then the hopper minecarts will pick them up. So let's seal that up and leave it to it. I have got a few mushrooms in here, but they're not from the farm. I just had extra mushrooms. So that farm down there is kind of the AFK method, but I also found a really good way to get mushrooms fast by mining. If I just do something like this and bone meal the mushroom, and you'll see with this axe, I mean, look at the sheer speed that the axe breaks everything. And from bone mealing that one mushroom, we got another 15, 16, 19. So yeah, that's a pretty cool option if I need loads of mushrooms fast. So when it comes to snow, we probably all know that you can mine up a few of these, and then if you place 8 of them down together, you get a full snow block. And at some point they updated it so that when you break this, you now get a full snow block, which is then going to belong in this chest. And whilst it is true, I could just build something like this. Then from this, I could get unlimited snowballs or snow layers. But from there, I'd have to craft them into snow blocks like a peasant. And why do that when I can just automate it? That guy's also going to live there for the rest of his life. And I could do with having that pumpkin back, please, sir. And so the next job is to gather up all the needed materials. After quite some time, I now have every item that I need. And the place that I'm going to build this machine is right here. So the first thing to be done is to extend this grass pathway all the way along. So to begin with, we're going to build a bit of a hopper clock right here. That is all built. We just need to add 16 items in there and it will be going backwards and forwards. Here we're going to add some redstone dust and then a block and then a comparator. And when I say comparator, I actually mean a repeater. And I'll add a block here. And these pistons, I think, are where the snow golems are going to be. And a couple more blocks, a bit more redstone. Thankfully, there isn't actually that much redstone on here. I just need a torch to go on there and a block on top of that. Here is where there's going to be a bit of a water stream pushing everything onto a pressure plate. We also need a honey block here and a honey block here. Then we can get rid of that, so the water will just flow along here. And we're going to place these here and kind of encapsulate it on all the sides so that the items can't escape anywhere. And this part is where we need chains, so we're going to place one there and then can I kind of place one next to it? No, that's not quite right. Instead it should be like that, and then 2 more along here, then a couple of fences here with pistons behind. Next, let's spawn in this poor snow golem who's going to spend the rest of his life in this little area. Just need some sort of lever which should push both of those. Okay, I need to push both of them. It's becoming a little bit scuffed, but I think doing a torch right there, then if I can break both of these pistons, they stay in place. Finally, we need a couple of cobwebs and a bucket of water right there. Here I've created the system where the rail's going to go. We're going to also have a sticky piston on the side of this torch and then an observer facing upwards like that. Now behind these pistons, we're going to make another hopper clock, but I need more redstone for that. Thankfully, this shulker box right here has absolutely loads of them. As you can see, this is a hopper clock with 6 hoppers, which is a little bit different from the other one. And we're just going to put a lever right there. No items are about to fall in here, and we're going to power this. And it's only going to need 1 item to work. The collection system for all the snow blocks is going to be here, so we've got a hopper there. Probably pick up all the items. We're also going to need a hopper minecart on top, and then let's break the rail underneath, and then a block above it, which will be pushed down by a piston. This is where I can connect the other hopper clock, so we're going to have that there. And if I grab some blocks, I can go up and place... I think I need some redstone on here. Never mind, turns out it's actually a torch. And the other thing we're going to do is add a place for a different snow golem to go. It's not required, but it is going to make it a bit faster. This is going to be done in exactly the same way. We're going to have a snow golem just spawned right here, and we're going to push a fence into the back of him. There we go, and there we go. Slab on here. Let's go and change this block underneath. It's actually going to need to be an observer. Now I can put the rail back on. We need 3 more observers like this, and that's going to all then kind of detect this hopper clock, so it's all going to connect together. Now I just need to place down a minecart, flick this lever over here, and hopefully the whole farm should work. Kind of build it a little bit high in the sky, didn't I? But if I just get into here... okay, what did I do now? Forgot one slightly crucial thing, and that is that you do need a few snow layers just to get it going, okay? So now everything should work. I'm actually an idiot. The minecart's meant to go something like that, and these here, I kind of need to push them so that they go like that. Okay, yeah, as you can see, everything's kind of happening now. I wasn't quite ready for that, but what I'll do is I'll hold right click and left click at the same time and press F3 and T. But I have made a slight mistake here in the sense that... Okay, hold on. Right, it's starting. You know what? Just give me a second. These need to go in the offhand. Now I can hold both of these. Press F3 and T, and it should, in theory, be working. I think I've just got the angle ever so slightly wrong, and now it does seem to be working. I think the mistake I made was that my inventory wasn't full, so I was picking up those snow layers, and it was messing everything up. As you can see, as soon as the snow layers run out, we go ahead and get transported back. We mine loads and loads more of them, and then we're automatically placing them down next to this block, and the block keeps retracting and stuff so that we don't accidentally, well, so that we can mine it, but we don't get stuck mining. It's complicated, but it works perfectly. And already, as you can see, we've got 27 snow blocks. It's just going along nicely. I'm going to AFK here for a bit and see just how much I can get. Can I get back in that minecart? Perfect. Let's just get that perfect angle and carry on. I spent a lot of time at this machine, and I have let's just jump off and you will see. Hold on, let's try and get out of here. You will see I've got a lot of snow. Not sure where these random snow layers came from, but this is just perfect. I can turn the machine off by doing this, and all of this snow can be placed into the massive storage system.